Deja vu? It may seem like it since we've made the same announcement 3 times in the last 3 months, with this being number 4, but we are lowering our prices again. First, our 30-day all access went from $349 to $299. Next, the 7-day all access pass went from $119 to just $99. And just a few weeks ago, despite our popular 3-day all access pass, it went down to $59 from $69. Next up is the 90-day all access pass, which is now officially dropped down to $749 from being $849, giving you 90 days of selections from your favorite handicapper for under $6 per week. Remember, purchased wager bucks can now be used the same as cash, including on our new lowered price, 3, 7, 30, and 90-day all access packages, allowing you to save every day on every pick you buy.
All right, guys, welcome in and a very happy Tuesday to you here, the 22nd day of February. Wow, 2022 and 20. Wow, somebody's got to run and go play lotto or something along those lines, guys. It is a pleasure to see you on this Tuesday, and we are excited because great matchups. What a basketball card in college hoops tonight we have, and even more impressive, the three gentlemen here today to help break down a few of these games as we welcome back the man, the legend, Ralph Michaels in the top seed here, along with Mr. William and Mary, 2Rs, 1L, Steve Merrill, and Dave Koken back in the saddle for this week, guys, as we tackle a pretty good card here tonight, Ralph Michaels. Glad to see you are up and about, feeling better, my friend. What do you got locked and loaded for us at WagerTalk.com?
Well, for the last 2 weeks, I fought COVID and COVID won. Still not over the damn thing yet, but feeling better. So one play up today, a back and forth day up, couple games the last few days, but looking forward now to get back in the swing. My voice might not say it, but I am 90% back to health and raring to go.
That's all right, Ralph. Just point. We'll know exactly what you're talking about there. Rod, talk to me, Steve Merrill. 2Rs, 1L. What do you got going on at WagerTalk.com on this Tuesday?
Yeah, it's great to see Ralph back. I know that database is stronger than ever. He's had a little extra time to play with it there, so good stuff. And it's a good time of year to be playing college hoops as we are just a few weeks away from conference tournaments. The madness of March is only about a week away. In fact, this week, when we do this show next week, guys, it will be March 1st. So it is creeping up on us. And this is a great time of year for conference rematches. We get all the revenges. We get last home games coming up, senior nights for a few teams, and a lot of data, 3 months of data. Power ratings are really strong, head-to-head common opponents. So I love capping basketball this time of year. And keep in mind, nobody has won more money the last 2 years combined at WagerTalk.com in college hoops. Number one the past 2 years since I joined the site. And I've got 2 strong best bets tonight. And I made a 2-for-1 Tuesday special. You get them both, a 2-for-1 special Tuesday night, including a national TV winner that's backed by an 83% ATS super situation and a college basketball steamroller. 2-for-1 special Tuesday night, Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com.
Oh, I love it here, guys. Literally no reason not to make it a profitable Tuesday. It is $2 Tuesday as well at WagerTalk.com. And your $2 handicapper today is no other than Dave Koken, coming off just a monster pick in the Genesis Invitational. You have a 5% best bet in college hoops, I believe, tonight. Dave, talk to us.
Yeah, I was having a terrible week last week. I mean, really awful. And then you hit something big, and it just turns around. I had Joaquin Neiman as one of my outrights at the Genesis. I only played 3. Dustin Johnson was terrible. Matthew Fitzpatrick, I got my money back because he got food poisoning before he teed off on Thursday, so that was no action. And the other one was Neiman. He goes wire to wire at least 50-1. That's the worst price out there. I had 60-1 myself, and I know some of the guys who were on it had 70-1. So big score there. And then I get lucky in a game last night. I mean, Ohio State's clearly the wrong side against Indiana, but they won by 11 in overtime. And the rules say I have to count it as a winner. So I did. So we got a little warm. And on 2/22/22, I'm the $2 handicapper. I got a 5% play in college basketball tonight that you can get right now at WagerTalk.com.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Another golf tournament coming up this week, too, guys, at the Honda Classic. But we got college hoops to talk about here tonight, and I love it. No better place to start than in the Big East with Villanova taking on UConn tonight. UConn -1 in this one. I've seen that move up to -2 here this morning, 136.5 as the opening total. We watched Villanova beat UConn earlier this year here, Ralph. Some people might think the wrong team is favored in here. What do you think?
You know, Joe, Jay Wright has been the head coach at Villanova for 20 seasons, and he has never swept UConn. Now, he's not always played them twice, but he has played them twice in a lot of seasons that he's never swept the Huskies. You know, I look and I see Villanova as a dog, and that automatically intrigues me. But you look at them this year, they are only 1-3 ATS as a dog. They played some tough non-conference teams early. But I'm going to take a look at the total. You look at the first game, and boy, it flew over the total. 85-74, 159 points. It went over the total by 31 points. Why? Well, UConn shot 56% from 2 points, 40% from 3 points. Villanova shot 60% from 2 points and 55% from 3 points. And guess what? Yes, Villanova is the best free throw shooting team in the country, but combined, the team shot 35 of 38. We still have 2 top 30 defenses. We still have a very slow-paced Villanova team, a UConn team that is going to slow it down as well. And this total again, just a few games ago, 128.5 is now 137. We're getting 8.5 points value because of how high that game went over in the first game. I'm going to go under in this game. Villanova still fighting for the Big East title. I think this is going to be a war. I'll go under the total.
All right. Well, it's I believe the Wildcats only 3 covers in their last 10 here, Steve. They find themselves in a dog spot, though, not what we're used to seeing Villanova. What do you think we're going to get tonight?
Yeah, I remember the first meeting well because I started my college basketball top 25 preview video a few weeks ago, and this was one of the games that made that Saturday card back on February 5th. And both teams, keep in mind, were coming off, I guess you could say, bad losses. UConn was coming off a really bad loss. They'd lost to Creighton outright as a 10-point home favorite 4 days earlier, that previous Tuesday, and then did not bring much against Villanova on the road, losing by 11 as a 4-point dog. But keep in mind, Villanova had come in off a loss at Marquette. In fact, it was a revenge game at Marquette after losing at home as a 14-point favorite a few weeks earlier. And in fact, those are the only 2 losses Villanova has had all year in 2022 have been against Marquette. After that last loss, they came back, of course, beat Connecticut. They've now won 5 straight. Looking at that earlier meeting, as Ralph said, back on February 5th, both teams shot very well from 3-point range, you know, from a percentage basis, but they didn't take that many shots. Villanova only took 11 threes in the game. They were 6 for 11. UConn was 40%, but they took 28 for 20, so they relied a little bit more. Villanova outscored them by 10 down low from 2-point range and by 7 from the free throw line. So Villanova was plus 17 points from 2-point range in the free throw line. So that's hard for me to overlook in a competitively priced rematch here. I'll lean Villanova, even though there's no revenge motive here. I think they have the interior advantage and they can dominate down low again.
UConn coming off that big win against Xavier over the weekend here. Dave, you think they keep rolling into this one?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think situationally, the spot favors Connecticut. I think they're really going to be geared up to get their revenge. And Ralph mentioned that Jay Wright has never been able to beat this team twice in the same season. But the matchup might favor Villanova because Connecticut is forced to get their points from other than the big guy getting looks inside. They're not as reliable. And they're going to, Wright knows how to coach defense. They're going to make sure that the big kid for Connecticut, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on his name, but he's such an important piece of this puzzle. So I don't know. My numbers say Connecticut. I think the situation says Connecticut. But I got a funny feeling Villanova is going to find a way to win this game. So that adds up to a pass for me.
Sonogo, I believe, is the kid you were talking about. Yeah, and he absolute beast, 15-9 in that last game against Xavier. We'll see what they got tonight. Should be a great game as we head out to the Mountain West with another big game here. How about San Diego State taking on Boise State in this one? Opening line of 2 here for Boise State at home with that total right around to 119. Not a shock there, Steve Merrill. But what do you think about Boise State holding serve here against San Diego State?
Yeah, a little bit of an interesting angle here. San Diego State's 5-1 against Boise since getting their former coach. Average win by almost 13 points a game in those 6 meetings. So that's obviously something that catches your eye. And it did not work in the earlier meeting this year. It would have been 5-0. So revenge spot for San Diego State. They lost a barn burner, 42-37, about a month ago on January. In fact, exactly a month ago on January 22nd. It was a Saturday game then. But yeah, look, these two teams struggled to score, obviously, in the first meeting. You look at the stats in that one. They were combined 9 for 35 from three-point range. San Diego State was 4 for 19, 21%. They've not been a good shooting team at all this season, so that's not a surprise. Where they get by, of course, is on their defense. One of the slowest half-court best defensive teams in the country. And I think that works here in the rematch. Hard to make a case for the over here. Obviously, this is a very low total. We talked about those big overs on the NBA tip-off show. This is the exact opposite, right? It's a low total, yet it opened 119. It's now up to 121. We've seen that happen in a lot of these games this year, Joe, where these totals open the 1-teens. They almost instantly get bet up a couple points. I've noticed that on almost every one of these. Hard to make a case for the over, though. Obviously, that first game was extremely low scoring, but I think San Diego State's going to dictate the tempo once again. And I like them here in the revenge spot, and I think they get back on track. 5-1 becomes 6-1 straight up against Boise.
Yeah, they could have played that game twice the first go-around. They weren't coming close to the over. Dave, talk to me here. You got a 21-6 on the season, 12-2 in the Mountain West, half a game out of Wyoming here. This is a big game for Boise State at home.
Big game for both teams because San Diego State lost the first meeting, and they need wins. They're not in the tournament right now. And what that means is they're going to have to make a big run in the Mountain West tournament, or they can help themselves in the win tonight. The problem is San Diego State's offense just isn't reliable. From one game to the next, you don't know what you're going to get out of the offense. And Boise State, despite the fact that a lot of games, you can look at them and say that they've had a lot of wins this year that they probably could have or should have lost. But we're so deep into the season now that this team has established its character as one that pulls out games where they're 50-50 to win, or maybe even less than 50-50 to win. I don't like going against those teams. But, I use the shot quality numbers a lot. And this is where sometimes I'll go in conflict with the shot quality numbers because they say that Boise State isn't as good as they are. But we're deep enough in the season now where it's just become apparent that Boise State finds ways to win basketball games and especially finds ways to win close basketball games. I got a feeling that's what's going to happen tonight. Certainly not a game I'm going to bet. But if I had to bet it, I think I'd take Boise.
All right. Leaning towards Boise in this one. Ralph, how about you? Looking at that total side, how do you approach it?
Joe, I am going to look at the total. And there's a lot of times when we talk about totals, when you have the lowest totals or the highest totals, Vegas doesn't need to make it where the total is actually supposed to be. They need to make it where they're going to get equal money on both sides. And as Steve said, 42-37 in that first game, Boise State went 7 minutes without scoring a field goal. San Diego State went 10 minutes without scoring a field goal. And let's look at the bigger picture. As Dave said, the importance to this game. You have Boise at 12-2, Wyoming at 11-2, and San Diego State at 9-3. So both teams completely control their destiny. Boise State with a win here will jump out ahead, but San Diego State also has Wyoming on Monday, February 28th. So if they win those games, they're going to jump ahead and be the number 1 seed. So to me, I think it's going to be another defensive battle. I think we're looking at two teams, two of the slowest tempo teams that are tough to get up the court. And yes, that number's low. I like the under at 119. As Steve said, it jumped up to 121, even some 120 and a halves. I'm going to go under the total here.
All right, looking at under 119 in that game, guys. Mountain West should be interesting, to say the least, from a total perspective. Now we'll move on to our third game here, and we'll head over to the Big Ten as we take a look at Iowa hosting Michigan State here. Iowa opens up as a 6.5-point favorite with that total right around 153. And Dave, that was a big win for Iowa on the road there against Ohio State over the weekend. And Michigan State seems to be going the wrong way. What do you think of this game?
I power rated the game at 9.
Ooh.
So that would indicate Iowa. Michigan State's not playing good ball, so that would indicate Iowa. But the market, I agree with the market in the game, which is Michigan State. Not to the extent that I want to bet it, but, and I'll get to a game I do like enough to bet shortly. But here's the thing on Iowa, and this is what I said on Wager Talk today earlier. On paper, they look like a really good basketball team. You get the two brothers who are outstanding. There's no real weaknesses of the team, and yet they're really difficult to trust. Because whenever you think Iowa's in a spot where, okay, they're going to put it together here, and now they're coming off this nice win against Ohio State, and they take a backward step. I think McCaffrey gets out coached on a regular basis, to be quite honest with you. I think the team's a little bit soft on the inside. I can't make a case for it on paper, but I think Michigan State is going to find a way to hang real tough, and I wouldn't be surprised if they win the game outright.
All right, there we go. Should be an interesting game here, Ralph. Kind of need a win here with both of these teams. So how do you approach it?
Well, Iowa, you're at home. You're the number 1 team, assist to turnover in the country. Not only the Big Ten, in the country. You have the second fewest amount of turnovers, and you have one of the most efficient offenses. And yes, Michigan State reeling, losing 4 of 5. And if there was another coach there besides Izzo, I might say, okay, it's time to fade them. But I've just watched him too much when it gets this late in the season, and he just makes some defensive schemes that you're getting this Michigan State team at this much. You have to look at them. But I'm going to say something that sort of goes against the statement I just made about Michigan State and Izzo changing some defense. And I'm actually going to look at the over. I look at Iowa. They're one of the fastest paced teams. They're the 9th fastest paced team on offense. They get down, they shoot the ball. They have a slew of shooters to be able to do it. But what jumps out to me, while Michigan State's been a very bad road team, scoring 7.5 points per game less on the road than they do in neutral and home settings, we've seen a change in their offense the last few games. They moved A.J. Hoggard into the point guard. He has started the last 3 games. Those are his first 3 starts of the year. When they were down 20-plus points against Illinois, you saw Hoggard and Walker, both point guards, playing. What did Walker do? He went off for 24 of his 26 points, coming off the point guard role, letting Hoggard take it, and turning into a scorer. I think Izzo uses that. I think Izzo uses that to try to bump his team. He plays them together. I think that gives Michigan State some offense in this game. I think Iowa State will score. And yeah, I don't know if I've ever played over 153.5 in a Michigan State game before, but I lean that way tonight.
All right, expecting some points there. What do you think here, Merrill? What do we get? Does Iowa get another victory at home here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to look at the total too, actually. I think Iowa probably does win the game as a 6-point favorite, but I like where Ralph's going with the over there, and I agree. I think Michigan State, after losing 4 of their last 5 straight up, they're 1-5 ATS their last 6. It hasn't necessarily been defense. That hasn't been the problem. You look at their last 3 games, they've given up 39% shooting or less in 2 of those last 3, but they've gone 1-2 straight up. So they need to get the offense going, and I think with a couple days off, that's what they've focused on. We know, as Ralph said, that Iowa wants to play fast. They're one of the fastest paced teams in the country. They're on their home court tonight, so I think they'll dictate tempo. And I think Michigan State's going to comply. They're about mid-pace this year. They're not a real slow-down half-court team, not nearly like we've seen in years past. So I think the tempo will be fast here. That gets me looking at the over. And also like the matchup, neither team turns the ball over. In fact, Iowa, out of 358 Division I teams, has the lowest turnover percentage out of the entire nation. They're the best ball handling team theoretically in the country. Michigan State does not force turnovers. In fact, they have forced 8 or less in 3 of their last 4 games. So Iowa might very well have like 3 turnovers. I know that sounds crazy. They've had like 8 or less in like 6 of their last 7. They might have like 5 turnovers tonight. So that once again means extra shots, no wasted possession. So I love when neither team's going to turn the ball over. That's a sneaky way to look at an over. Fast tempo as well. Both teams focusing on offense. I like over 153.5 in this one.
All right, looking at the over 153.5 in that Big Ten game, guys. Big game here. We'll see 13-3, by the way, this season to the over. Iowa is at home here. So trending towards the over. And like we said, guys, there's a ton of huge conference matchups here tonight. It is a great card on tap. Now it is time to figure out if these guys, well, they like one game a little bit more than the rest. So Ralph, I'm coming to you here, man. Start us off. Which one of these games you circle for us?
I'm going to Nashville. I'm going to back Vanderbilt tonight. You know, you look at Vanderbilt, and I like the way Stackhouse has his team playing. They may only be 4-3 in their last 7 games, but their losses are at Kentucky, at Tennessee, and at Auburn. At home, their defense has been playing stellar, and they continue to improve. Alabama, since January the 8th, has won 1 road game. That was at Mississippi. Vanderbilt, the better 3-point shooting team. We're going to see a lot of 3-point shots tonight. And this Alabama team, again, only 3-3 in their last 6 games. The only road win at Mississippi. I do think Vanderbilt actually pulls the outright upset tonight. I'm on the Commodores.
All right, go with the Commodores on this one. What do you think, Steve Merrill? Who are you looking at here tonight?
Yeah, going to look at a free play in the ACC for Tuesday night college hoops. Going to get to that here in just a moment. Quick reminder, nobody has won more money the past 2 years since I joined WagerTalk.com in college basketball. I'm number 1 the past 2 years combined in profit 1 in college hoops, and we keep it going tonight with a 2-for-1 special. I've got 2 powerful best bets for my clients. You also can get them right now. A 2-for-1 Tuesday special, college basketball steamroller blowout, and a national TV best bet that's backed by an 83% super situation, which I give you in the analysis. So a 2-for-1 combo, Tuesday night college basketball, Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. Game that just missed the cut tonight, we're going to look at in the ACC. Going to look at the Pitt Panthers +4. Now, Pittsburgh's not a very good team this year, just 11-17 straight up, 8-9 at home, respectable. So they could be a little bit of a live dog here, but this is more of a play against Miami as Pittsburgh plays extremely slow. One of the slowest half-court teams in the country. I think they'll dictate that tempo at home against Miami, a team that just struggled against another slow team in their last game, Virginia, on Saturday. And now they have to turn around and travel in just a couple days and play on the road. Miami this year has played 9 games in which they've scored 70 points or less. They've gone 3-6 straight up, and they haven't won any of those 9 by more than 5 points. Projected score tonight is 70-66 with the 4-point line and the 136 total. So I think this will be a low-scoring half-court game, and I think that favors the Pitt Panthers to get a rare win as a dog. Pittsburgh +4 is worth a look. That goes at 8 p.m. Eastern Tuesday night. And don't forget, if you want my 2 strongest plays on the board, a 2-for-1 Tuesday special from the number 1 ranked college basketball capper at WagerTalk.com. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. Powerful card tonight on Tuesday.
All right, good stuff there, guys. And don't forget also, speaking of Tuesday, $2 Tuesday, Dave is your $2 handicapper today. His 5% best bet available now for $2. at WagerTalk.com. Visit his page. And Dave, which one of these games you circle for us?
I played 2 games tonight, 5% play, and I took Nevada at Pick'em against UNLV. That now Nevada minus 2.5. I agree with the line movement. Quickly talk about UNLV. Kevin Kruger it's his first year as a head coach. He's a superstar in the making. Done a great job with this UNLV team. They're getting better and better and better. What he did Saturday against Roddy of Colorado State was brilliant. He kept rotating fresh bodies on him, and it worked. Roddy didn't have much of a game. Rebels crushed Colorado State, beat me in the process. So maybe he comes up with more good stuff tonight in Reno. But I did go with Nevada here. They are showing some signs of life. They've won 3 in a row. 2 of those were against San Jose State, so you can dismiss that. But it's still 3 wins in a row. And this is their biggest remaining game. Nevada's not going anywhere this year. They're not going to win the Mountain West tournament. They're not going to the NIT or the NCAA. They're having a lousy season. So this is clearly the biggest game they've got left because they got smashed in Las Vegas by the Rebels, and they want this revenge game in the worst way. This is a very intense rivalry. Maybe they catch UNLV a little bit flat coming out of the Colorado State game. I'm not going to bank on that. But I do think that whatever Nevada's got left in the tank, they're going to show tonight. So I'll side with the Wolfpack to get the win. I don't know that I'd still recommend it at minus 2.5 because I did put it out at Pick'em, but you can still make a small play on that side. I think you've got the right side with Nevada.
All right, going with Nevada in that one, guys. That, of course, late night here on the East Coast there for that game. And our friends from the Gold Sheet, they got themselves a play of the day, and they're going to go, well, screw you, Steve Merrill. They're going Miami, and I agree with them. Give me Miami. Come on, the U. Laying 4 here in this one, like Steve said, taking on Pittsburgh. The write-up here, guys, it's great write-up, great information at this. And, of course, all the write-ups, guys, you can catch over at our Twitter page at Wager Talk. We post them after the shows, all our Gold Sheet plays of the day. And, of course, if you head over to goldsheet.com, check out the write-ups with other games. And, of course, the handicapping tools are great. Goldsheet.com. All right, guys, I'm going to lay it with Richmond tonight to get back in the W column after a very poor performance taking on George Washington here. I got them winning by double digits. I don't think it's going to be a game, so I'll go ahead and I'll lay the 7 with the Richmond Spiders here against G-Dub. And to recap, one more time here, guys, let's take a look as Vanderbilt is on Ralph Michaels' mind, plus 4.5 here tonight against Alabama. Steve Merrill, Pitt, plus 4, taking on the U. Dave likes Nevada going up against UNLV. I'm laying it with Richmond, and we got a head-to-head as our friends from the Gold Sheet. They do like the U, laying the 4 here. And, of course, guys, we told you, $2 Tuesday right now if you head over to WagerTalk.com. Dave's 5% best bet in college hoops, $2. That's right, he's the $2 handicapper. Visit him now. Merrill told you a plethora of opportunities on his page, including that 2-for-1 tonight. Take advantage of that. And Ralph Michaels, again at the top of the leaderboard, guys, in college hoops this year. Make sure you check out Ralph's page. Best bets are locked and loaded with these guys tonight. Make it a profitable Tuesday. And on behalf of Ralph, Steve, and Dave, guys, we appreciate you hanging with us. Hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner. Make plans to come back and join us again tomorrow. More college hoops talk. And until then, best of luck with your plays tonight, guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.